Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world, and welcome back to Social Convos. It's been a while, Shanluk. It's been a while. But before we dive into our guest today, it's been a quite a July last month. A lot of reflection, a lot of one-on-ones with the two of us with the Ask Me Anythings. So hopefully our listeners got to know more about us, more about the show. But today, first week of August, we're back with a brand new guest, and it's been a while. We got someone local again in
Yeah,
Suriname.
fun. That's fun. That's
And
definitely fun.
fun fact, we both actually had a so-called virtual drink with this individual, but I will leave it up to you to introduce her and then we can talk a bit more about our experiences with that.
Okay, well, I'm gonna share a story, a fun story that happened during our virtual drink. So, our guest and I, we actually met for the first time, like really got to know each other during a birthday of a mutual friend, and it was at a boat. It was on a boat. It was a party on a boat. There was a lot of cake involved. There were people jumping out of the boat into the river, and actually after and she told me the story that after we've met and we actually kind of met for the first time, and that the next time that she met me, she was trying to greet me and I was like not responding or not interested or acting like I didn't know her. So till this day, I'm trying to recall what actually happened. But after she told me the story, I've been thinking for the last couple of weeks. And it's actually, I do remember there being something and do remember not greeting her the next time uh, when we met. But I still don't remember what the reason or the mindset was after that. Luckily, it was a one time thing. We now greet each other. We now know each other. Our guest is a really wonderful woman. I know her mainly as one of the best volleyball players, female volleyball players Suriname has ever produced. She might be a little like, yeah, there are others as well, but I can guarantee you that she is one of the best volleyball players, female volleyball players Suriname has ever seen. And she's very modest about it, but we know for a fact. And we want to introduce to you today's guest, Sandrina Hunsel. Welcome, Sandrina.
Thank you, Shaluk. What an introduction, especially the story.
Yeah.
Hi, Maya. Thank you. Thank you so much. What a nice introduction. I appreciate it. Hi,
Well,
everyone.
they're
Yeah.
different introductions, definitely.
So,
So
so
the volleyball one is definitely one that I think, like, I remember, like, I've been out of the volleyball scene for quite some time, but I
Mm,
do recall you being a real powerhouse in the volleyball circuit. So one of the
thank-
questions, of course, that I asked a lot is, do you miss it? Do you still miss
mm.
being on the court?
Yeah, it goes on and off. Like now I'm in a phase. I'm like, okay, I'm so ready to play again. It doesn't even matter if I need to be libero or the middle or the outside or on the bench. I don't care. I just wanna, like be in the game and the adrenaline rush and everything and be with the team. I miss the girls so much. Also the girls from the national team. It's like the friendships that are built during sports are simply amazing, and that's a part I really miss. On the other hand, I'm very happy with the rest that I'm getting right now, especially with my son. He's almost 7 months, and I've been having so much time with him, which I don't know how it would have been if there would not have been COVID and I had to go to practice and all of that. It would have been a bit different. So God's timing is everything. I'm very happy for how it is now, and I'm excited for when it's gonna start again because I think I'm ready. Yeah, physically and mentally.
yeah, I think it's a good thing to look at the positive side. Last week at Shanluk's Ask Me Anything, there were some
Mm,
individuals questions coming in from him, his experience as a father, after
Uh,
the pandemic hit. So it gave him a chance to have more quality time with his family. And
Mhm.
as you said, the timing, you make the best of the timing and the situation you're in. So uh, even though you're not on the field anymore, but there's
Mhm.
something else now that keeps you occupied and keeps you energized, and takes up all your time. So tell us, how has it been, I guess, since you stopped being on the court and kind of
Mhm.
more, more introspective. As you know, we don't go out as much anymore, doing your
Mhm.
own thing, and actually having a son now in the midst of all this. How has that been for you in the past year? I'd say.
Yes, I'm gonna start with the best thing, which is my son, obviously. He's such a light. He's always laughing and want to play and everything. He loves to cuddle, thank God, because I'm a cuddler. So I'm all over him all the time. So that has been simply the best thing. Also my pregnancy. I got pregnant during the pandemic, like in May, and which was good in the sense of, not too many people around, only like selective people while you're going through this phase, and only positive vibes. Not too many people can see you, look at you. I'm not really spiritual, but I still believe in those things. Like a bad eye or something. So it was good. And now, in like the pandemic is continuing, I hope that it ends like the end of 2021. 2022 doesn't, we don't want it. So um other than that, with volleyball last year, I've been, before the pandemic in January, I decided to like go in a transition, because my team Condor, we had our youth players that were becoming the senior team. So I decided to take a step back and become the coach, so that they can, like step up. And like it's, I think it's better when they have to do it alone. Like, sometimes you do it together, you pull them up, and then at some point they need to step up their game and do it themselves. So I decided to become the coach for that season, for last season. So that was my plan, and then maybe in the finals I would play again, and especially national team I would play too. So during that transition, the pandemic happened, so it wasn't really hard for me not to play at all, because I already had decided that I was not gonna play. But like now, a year after, and my son is born and I'm in shape again, and I'm like, okay, people, let's move. So I miss that now. I didn't miss it last year. Last year I was relieved that I didn't have to play or go to the, how do you say that in English, like the gym, where you have isme fawil sportal and stuff. But now I kind of miss it. I also miss beach volleyball. So that's it for sports. I would love to play sports again. Yeah.
Yeah, we'd love to see you again and represent us as well. But quickly on the topic of coaching, I do have a quick follow-up question. We'll probably get into this later as well on the personal side. But from a sport perspective, from a volleyball perspective, what would you say the most important thing is as a volleyball coach? What's the biggest difference or the biggest impact that a coach has from your experience having done that
Mhm.
transition from player to coach?
Yeah. Well, I must say I learned from the best, as in my coach. The belief that man had in me and still has, even when I'm not on the court, that's Eric Eichmann. I don't know. Sometimes he believed in me more than I believed in myself. So I think that's the most important ingredient for a coach, that you need to believe in your team. And of course you're gonna make mistakes. Sometimes you're gonna um believe a bit less in someone that needed it more. Like you're gonna make mistakes. I'm sure that he made mistakes too. He grew a lot also in the past years as a coach. And I give myself that room to grow as well. And so the first thing I always try is to connect with my players. One time, see, that's a growth moment for me. One time a player told me like, "Why are you always talking so mean?" And I'm like, "Am I talking mean?" Because when they like fall on the ground and they're like, "Oh, I can't take the ball," I'm all over them like, "Why do you think you can't take the ball? You just need to jump and you need to take the ball." You need to believe that you see. So for me, it's like I'm empowering them. But she was like, "You're always so mean," and I'm like, "Girl, what?" So that was a moment of growth for
It's
me as
definitely
a
a
coach.
difference in perspective, I guess. So two
Yeah.
things that I quickly want to jump into this. The first thing I want to jump into, Eric is a legend. I think, I mean, in the
Hmm.
sports, in the Surinamese sports world, we have a lot of legend coaches. Like they have a
Yeah.
legacy, and it's
Yeah.
amazing. And he's definitely one of them. But I quickly want to jump into, and I'm not sure if this is typical Surinamese, but you
Hmm.
just mentioned saying like, yeah, I don't have to play, and then maybe in the playoffs, maybe in the finals, they'll need me, and I'll just step on the court and I'll just destroy. You didn't say it that way, but technically, it's
I
like I
understand.
don't have
Yeah.
to play the whole season. I'll just play in the finals, and that will be enough for us to win. So that brings to mind because the legacy teams that we have a couple of teams in Suriname. So
Mhm.
first thing I'm gonna have to ask you, you're still defending champions, Condor ladies,
Yes, because last year we didn't have a competition. It
and for how
because of the
many years?
pandemic.
Yeah, and for how many years have you been defending champions?
With the senior team for 8 years now. Yeah.
So Diego, just to put in perspective, they've completely dominated the field for 8 years, and for her, it's like, yeah, maybe in the finals I play, and
No,
just
no, I didn't mean it like that. No, it's
but
for the
that's
other girls to grow.
no, I know it's for the other girls to grow. I mean, in sports you have that as well, but okay, like locally, like nationally, there are not really that many accolades for you still to achieve. I guess. I mean, Caribbean Cup and the
Mhm.
Caribbean, those are.
Yeah.
I think you were second once, and did
Yeah.
you? Yeah,
Twice. Twice we
twice.
became second. Yeah.
Yes. So I can imagine that like there's still the goal there saying like, yeah,
True.
we want to win the Caribbean Cup,
Exactly that.
and
Yes.
I do understand that, but like on a national scale, I do understand like giving the others the opportunity,
Mhm.
but from like a non-sports perspective, like somebody doesn't know anything about sports, it's like, okay, we just turn it up in the finals, and the rest of the season, it's like we coast through, which it's kind of ironic because it's partially true, but it's also like you're saying like we're actually doing it for the better of the team.
Yeah.
uh but it's just such a funny thing to hear how good you guys are and how good
Oh,
you are
thanks.
that you are still. And to bring it to beach volleyball,
Mhm.
um what do you think compared to like 6 versus 6, like indoor, what do you
Mhm.
think our chances are regionally, like for beach volleyball?
I think beach volleyball is it's another way of playing volleyball too. Volleyball is a mental sport, but beach volleyball is like a mental. How do you say it? Like you have an iPhone Pro. It's like a mental pro. so, uh, so I think, and that's like to put it in like what's the difference between those? But like how far can we come with beach? I believe we can come pretty far, um, because we've played against different teams in the Caribbean, and we are a good match for them. It's the only thing that was missing is that you had to put in more hours and more, how do you say that again? Experience. As I said, it's like a mental game. You have to be very tactic about the way you play. It's not like in on the court in indoor volleyball. It's like hitting hard. But in beach volleyball, it's playing smart. So putting in the years is very important at beach volleyball. And if you have a determined team, like the two people that are determined to go together, or maybe like 4 or 5 people that can play together, like become teams of two, I think we have a great chance of going to, I wouldn't say Olympics yet, because I've seen the Olympic players that, and some of them are 40. So that takes like 20 years or something to build. But a bit more realistic, like being in the top from the Caribbean, moving on to South America, like competing in the South American games. I believe we can really do that. Yeah.
And I do have to ask now because so why don't we approach it more like that? Because thinking of it, like
Mm.
especially during COVID, we could actually go to a beach court and
Mhm.
play beach there. So
Yeah.
what's kind of keeping us back from saying, putting in that commitment, like putting in 10 players, saying like, okay, these 10 players are just going to compete and going
Mhm.
to prepare themselves for the World Cup qualifications um and the Olympic qualifiers.
Yeah. I must say in 2013 we started this journey, if I may call it a journey, with Cheryl Brunings and Lionel Blokland, and later on Dion Brunings became our coach. And also we had Shahnas Frenkel, Safira Willemsberg. All those names are very
Yeah,
familiar
yeah,
to
and they,
you.
yeah, of course.
They're like the indoor top volleyball players, and Shafeli Whip also. That is the team we started with, and we went to the South American Games, and we qualified for all four rounds from the Olympic qualifiers. But after that, I remember that Cheryl and I, we we had our degree in 2018. So we finished school, and then we decided to go and work for a bigger company, like starting the career life. And
Yeah, I
after that, beach volleyball was in 2019. We still did a tournament, but after that, like with school and with work, we didn't really had the time to play before 7 p.m. because we didn't have a facility where there was light to play beach volleyball. So then, you come from work at 4, you don't you need to do something else, so you can't go to practice at 5. All those things were like a combination of things made that we didn't like go further with the project, yeah, with the journey, the beach journey. But the Suriname Olympic Committee, they were committed to focus more on beach. So that's how this whole
oh,
beach
that's
journey
actually that's pretty
started.
interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
and Lionel Blockland also from the Sifobo.
Yeah. So it's interesting because that's the main reason I stopped. I wasn't able to combine work and volleyball.
Mm-hmm.
And
Understandable.
yeah, and Dion and Mara continued. They're also like 8 or 9 times defending
Yes,
champions now.
they're like 9, one more
Yeah,
than
and
us. Yeah.
yes, and that's actually the I stopped the year before that.
Mm-hmm.
Or I decided to stop playing competitively just because also I didn't feel that I still had the strength and the, it's what you're saying is as well, like these young up and coming talents, they're like 16, 17-year old, and then they
True.
go to school, and then they're home the whole day, and then they come pumped up to the training, and you just
Yeah.
had an hour, like 8 hours of work to 10 hours of work, and then you had to rush to eat your food, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
at night. And I also trained the ASPI, the girls under 14.
Yeah.
So I went from work to train them, and then after that I had
Mm-hmm.
my training, and I was like
Mm-hmm.
completely exhausted. So I can imagine, but I didn't play as quite as high level as you did. So
It's
I
basically
guess
a
there's
second
no.
job, if you put it
Yeah, it
like
is.
that.
It
Yeah,
is.
It
It
is.
is.
and
It is.
it's
Yeah.
more physically taxing, and if your mental state isn't there,
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
and that doesn't work into synergy, you just don't
I've
perform.
True, very true. But I've seen girls like Cheryl was one and Safira Willensberg was one also. They went to work, then to school, and then they came to practice at 8 p.m. till like 11.
Yeah,
So I was like,
that
whoa.
It's dedication. It's
Yeah.
pure, and I know Cheryl and Dion quite well. And since
Mm,
since they were young, I mean,
dynamic duos.
no, but they technically they sleep with the ball in their bed.
true.
Like they can find you like blindfolded. They could blindfold you and
I like
give
I
you
like
give
how
you a
you
set.
put it. I
Yeah,
like how you put it that they sleep with the ball because people often look at like with the ladies team, they look at Cheryl, right? And like, how is she the best setter like for so, because she's the best setter in the Caribbean for like, I don't know, since
forever.
2010 or something. Yeah. And they're like, yeah, why is she always the first setter? Yeah, how come she? But this girl, everything she did in her life was volleyball with her brother also. Like when they're at home, they're not playing around, they're playing volleyball, they're practicing. playfully, but it's like you
Yeah.
have to put in the work if you want to achieve something with it.
Yeah, every
Uh,
week a couple of shutters were broken. So a couple
Yeah,
of glass
true.
glass
I learned.
windows at their house
I heard those
were
stories.
broken.
Very
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. So we
Yeah.
got some
So
quick shout outs from the
yeah, go ahead,
comments.
Dina. Yeah.
Sachari giving you a shout out. Ola San,
Hi,
how are you? Got
I'm good.
viewer from Twitch as well, Motive, giving you a thumbs up on the performance. And I guess I'll throw in this question from Joel as to close up the sports section. And he asked, as a top athlete in Suriname, what's your take on the recent SVB controversy, and what could the Sufobo learn from this?
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm gonna say it plain. Don't let politics mix with sports. Any politics, not company politics, not politics from the country, not anything, because they don't go together. Same as church and politics. You don't mix those. God and they don't work. Sports and politics don't mix the same as God and politics, because when people are focused on positions and money, and they don't think about the athletes and what is good for the country. They see past everything that is good because they see the gold pot. So what Tufobo can learn from this, and I'm just saying it plain, I am not from any organization, so nobody can, how do you say it? Ni mas ka makualat mo.
Yeah.
Iba ho na. I'm just an athlete from Suriname with some pride, especially for Nacho. I was so excited about this whole soccer journey. Anyway, sorry, back to the Sufobo question. What Sufobo can learn from this is stick to the plan and have more people that make decisions. It's not a what was Hitler again? Like a dictator? How
Yeah,
do you say that in
dictator.
English?
Yeah, dictator.
Dictator. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's don't put that in sports or in like plans with sports. No, a lot of let put a group of people that need to make the decision, not one or two, because otherwise ego's gonna come in and things are gonna go bad. So that's my take on it. With all due respect.
Well, a very sportsmanship take. We're just looking at the comments because getting kind of busy now. Anil jumps in. We have a very special viewer all the way from SeaWorld who's joining in as
Hi.
well.
Coincidentally with the same last name.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
yes, that's my sister.
just turn in Gregory just say he just tuned in is already a Hitler reference. And Marvin is also joining in.
Hi,
Uh
Marvin.
Joel is keeping it COVID, coughing in his elbow, and yes, Sandrina is saying hi. It's not a one man show. We can all learn from it.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a little bit of fewer interaction as well, and basically, I want to make a transition from sports to social media because
Mhm.
we're streaming now on I think 5 different platforms at the moment.
It's
Oh yeah, but 5 different
seven
platform,
channels, five
7 channels,
platforms.
5 different platforms, and we're gonna quickly do Motef's question first before I ask this question. So a lot of
Yes.
love from Andresa, and Motef wants to know: do
Mhm.
you see you ever see yourself coaching the national volleyball team?
Yes, sir. I've coached the national team with Janice Feliz, the under 18 team, and that was like the best experience ever. It was so nice. I was her assistant coach, and we became champions in Jamaica, the Caribbean under 18 Cup. And after that, I was the assistant coach of Eric Aikwan for the under 23. And I am ready. I'm ready to learn more and grow more. And I'm gonna be the coach also from the national women's or men's team. You never know, but I'm working on it.
Yeah, yeah. No, we have some great female coaches leading men's teams as well. And now I do have to ask the question first, like, um, we've seen like a change come in that there are scholarships coming from the US. Like
Mhm.
Janice, you just mentioned Janice, but also Gabriela Bautisha all went
Yes.
through scholarships. So how did that program start? Because all of a
Mm.
sudden, not just in the beginning it was just tennis players, and now we're seeing
Yes.
basketball players, volleyball players all receiving scholarships from the US. So How did
Mhm.
that process go, and how does that help develop our sports to bring it to a higher level?
Yeah, I think Cindy Smiller, she was from the generation before me. I think she was the one of the first, which I know of. Please forgive me, people, if I'm not saying it correctly. Which I know of
It's
that
okay. It's
played
okay.
that played abroad. I think she played in Brazil for a little while. So I think that's what broke the ice. And I remember, I think Janice got scouted by Mr. Trevor. He was a Trinidadian coach who was working in America for a big school. And I think that is how it started. I think, like, because Janice is the first for me that got a scholarship in the US. And I know that Mr. Trevor helped a lot of other girls as well. Like my friend Jill. He also he how do you say it? He guided them in the process. Yeah, and I got help from my friend Is Hutskalak and a tennis player Joanne Faarde and also Janice. They helped me to look for schools. Looking back, I should have also when I was in USA, I should have talked to Mr. Trevor more as well because he knows a lot of people and he knows a lot of schools. So that is how the other girls get around a bit in the beginning and then they move on. And then so when one person went, the Suriname becomes popular with the coaches. So they're gonna like my coach from there asked me to like, hey, do you have an outside hitter in Suriname? Do you have this? Do you? So now Gabby's coach gonna ask her. So the next generation and Ketura's coach, the next generation like Shaya, Sharon, Cherise, like the girls that play under 23 now, they are gonna, like when someone asks Gabby can recommend them and send the videos to the school so the girls can go as well. So I think that's how it started a bit. But if it's not true, someone put
No,
it in the
that's a
comments.
great no, but it's a great organic development, and I mean that wasn't there like 20 years ago. So
Yeah, it's
this
kind of
is
like a
True.
snowball effect.
yeah,
Like,
it's really like
Yes.
a snowball effect. Like what
Yeah.
I was saying, like you guys became pathfinders, and basically that's this generation. We kind of we downplay it a bit, but due to this, just like you said, like now we have multiple volleyball
Hmm.
players who actually made it to the US and went on college, and I mean Gabrielle is like she's
She's
killing
a
it over
beast.
there.
She grew
So
so much also, like
yeah,
mentally and everything. It's amazing.
yeah, and I think that because I think what I remember from volleyball in Suriname, our volleyball culture is really like being the prolific scorer. Like if
Mm-hmm.
your offense is on point, you get
Mm-hmm.
like all the praise. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and it's almost showtime. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
like and I studied and I played in the Netherlands where it's all about the higher you play, the less mistakes you make. So it is
Mm-hmm.
this really structured. It's kind
Mm-hmm.
of it's not one hit and that everybody just goes crazy and for 10 minutes everybody's running on adrenaline, but it's just like the structured kind of play, which is like completely different to what we're used to here. And I think the US is a mixture of both. You kind of have the star power as well, um, but there's also more time
Mm-hmm.
and resources to go into like the technical side of it as well. But now to the real question that I wanted to ask. um, we posted this announcement on multiple channels, and when we posted it on Facebook we couldn't tag you. So and then I was like, but wait, this isn't Sandrina like on she isn't on Facebook. And like, no,
Mm-hmm.
I can't find her on Facebook. And
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of it's not necessarily unique, but we have a lot of people saying like, yeah, I'm tired of Facebook, I'm not going to be on Facebook anymore, but we stay there. So
Mm-hmm.
how did you end up not being on Facebook?
Oh well, I how do you say it? I deactivated my account couple of times, especially around times when there's a lot of negativity going on. Um, and that was the case again, like 2 months ago, I think. People talk a lot on Facebook. It's all talk and no action most of the time. I also want to give a big up to the people that use Facebook for their business because I like those people. Like, like I need to hustle, I need to make my money, I need to make the best of my life. But I don't like when people, like, one small thing happens, everybody talks about it. And they talk about it like they're going to change it, but they never do. They just sit and do nothing. So I'm a very, I wouldn't say highly sensitive person, but I'm like a medium sensitive person. So when it's a bit too much for me, I I just log off. I deactivate my account. I'm like, I don't want to be part of this nonsense. It's like nonsense for me when people are all talk and no action. So I had to think about it though, because you said sometimes people want to move from Facebook, but they don't. Because I also use Facebook as a voice. I'm like an advocate for mental health and I love to empower people. And I felt such a, how do you say it, verantwoordelijkheid,
Yeah, you
responsibility for to like stay on Facebook and help the people. But at some point I was like, okay, people, I gave you all
you're
the
not there.
information.
You're not there for the help.
Sometimes even that. But okay, let me sometimes they are, because when I posted about psychologists, when I broke the silence about getting help and therapy, people really, really went into it. So there's like a positive side to it as well. So that made me like, okay, Shay, I should not leave. Or, but then I thought, you know what? Facebook is not the world. I have my own world. I don't, it's not that important. It's just social media. So if they can't find me, they will find someone else. It's not my responsibility to make people happy or feel good. At the end of the day, it's your own responsibility. So I hand you the tools and then I go on with my life. So that's how I decided, like, okay, for now, no more Facebook for me. I got attached to LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn. It has so much good information.
I
And
gotta quickly
Instagram.
ask, because since we're
Mm-hmm.
going to LinkedIn already. So you said about 2 months ago, three
Mm-hmm.
months ago, that you deactivated Facebook.
Yeah.
Did this coincides with the timing that you started your virtual drinks, if I'm not mistaken, looking back at the
Yes.
history? So was
Yeah.
that a kind of like a shift in focusing your energy toward trying something new and focusing on LinkedIn specifically to try that?
Yeah. I would call it a shift. Yeah. Because I remember. You know what the funny thing was? That's good that you put it like beside each other. Because when I posted a thing on LinkedIn that I want to connect more with people and want to have a virtual drink. And everybody was like, yeah, let's talk about our profession, let's get to know each other. Let's see what we can do for each other, like business wise. Then check, I put the same, not the same, but I put a same kind of thing on Facebook. Like, hey, what's up, guys? I want to connect more with my people, especially from the Caribbean. Let's talk. I want to know you on another level. Zero responses. And I'm like,
Oh,
okay.
I thought people were gonna slide into your DM or something like that.
That's what I thought too. Like, if men would say like, "Hey, baby, what's up?" So that's why, for in first instance, I didn't post it on Facebook because I don't like small talk and all that. But but when I did decide, like, okay, maybe I can have a bit bigger reach, and I saw like, wait, Facebook ain't gonna give me this. That really gave that kind of encouraged me to like see, like, the time you are in now, the phase you are in now, what you're trying to achieve right now. Facebook can help you. I'm saying right now because when I start my business, let's say I decide to have a clothing business, for example, I'm gonna need Facebook because that's where the women are that want some clothes. That's where the men are that wants clothes. So you can use it for good things, but right now, in what I'm doing now, it's not. No.
It's
I'm
very
very.
interesting that
Yeah.
you put it like that. But also, I think people are becoming aware. More and more people in Suriname are becoming aware that LinkedIn
Mm,
is not like a lesser platform. That the engagement is actually real. That the people over there
yeah.
are very much committed. And if you are committed, if you're putting the same amount of hours into LinkedIn as you would put into Facebook, oh, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's so much better. Like you don't have you have less trolls, of course,
Yeah.
because trolling on LinkedIn, there's trolling on LinkedIn, but not close to what there is on
Mm-hmm.
Facebook. all the
Mm-hmm.
negative people are gone. Like I remember, like for
True.
years, if you would put something negative about Suriname on LinkedIn, people would be like, "No, we don't do that here."
Yeah,
So
true.
there's a really positive energy and a positive vibe going on. So it's
Mm-hmm.
really interesting to have you explain like the switch and saying like what's important for me and not
Mm-hmm.
being afraid, because I think most of us, and I also speak for myself, going away from Facebook, like we're kind of afraid to do it,
Mm-hmm.
because especially if you go to another platform and like you post and like there's no zero response, and on
Mm-hmm.
Facebook if you post something then
I feel
it
you.
could go
Mm-hmm.
viral. So I
Mm-hmm.
think it's a good realization that you're saying like I might need it for something like if I have my own business, but for me personally I don't need it, and really going to the extent of deactivating your account. I think it's a big inspiration for many that you made that switch. And
Oh,
I'm happy
thanks.
to hear. Nah, and I'm happy to hear that you're saying like LinkedIn is awesome. I don't even know why you guys need Facebook when you have LinkedIn, for instance. So thanks for sharing
LinkedIn
that.
is good. Yeah.
Yeah.
On that note, on the topic of virtual drinks, I do have two quick questions. One to stroke me and Chanuk's ego, and one
I got you. I got you.
and one at a more macro level. So the fun one first. We've both had virtual drinks with you. So what stood out most from our conversations,
Hmm. Okay, good, good.
and who was more memorable?
Oh wow,
I
Diego.
knew you would
Whoa,
say that.
Diego.
I thought you would say that first, but you're smart. You're smart. Okay, let me see. Um, what stood out from you, Diego? I remember that I was very impressed by your approach because, especially the approach fund, you should only take on what you can handle because we live in a fast and a lot is better. Fast is better, a lot is more is better, etc. And you said like, no, son, if I can get a project that can keep me for 3 months, I'm good. I don't need five projects to get more money as like you know what I mean? So that stood out for me that you are not afraid to say like I do it my way. I don't do it the way everybody thinks you should do business. So that stood out for me. And with Shaluk, it was fun having our putting getting how do you say it? Like having our moment of peace and friendship about the not greeting me 12 years ago. But no, that's a joke. But what stood out for me at Chaluk, his our virtual drink was I'm thinking of starting a business, right? And but sometimes it comes in my head like, oh no, what if it's not a success? Because everybody sees you and like it's a bit of a shame if it fails. But Chaluk told me like, yeah, son, I had this, and then okay, I did this with my friends, and then after a few years we did this, and then I started this, and then I started this, and I'm like, what? You did all of that? Because in my head it was like, Chaluk is CEO of in Ineffable.
Ineffable.
Yeah, and that's his success story. He's a social media man, but he also had his failures, but he didn't even talk about them as like, see, Sandrina, I failed. He just was like, yeah, and then I did like that and that and that. Like, okay, then I can do it too. I'm gonna start this, I'm gonna do my best. If not, I'm gonna do something else. So yeah, I think those two things really stood out in the convos with you guys. And I'm not gonna answer the last question.
Ha ha ha.
Very good, very good. No, very,
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
fair enough, fair enough.
Quickly
I
on
just
your
wanted to debate it.
answers. Diego is a crypto millionaire, so he doesn't have to worry about. Not just kidding, Diego.
I Maybe that's
But
why I need
yeah.
to have a quick
Mhm.
master class from
No,
No,
no.
Diego
I
about
think
I,
that.
I
I'm
think
not.
you should definitely, Sandrina. You should definitely also consider the crypto space and start creating
Mhm.
content on the blockchain. I think you'll find it interesting as well,
Interesting.
especially if
Yeah.
you're not on Facebook. There's
Mhm.
a lot of other spaces
Here's
that are
the
interesting.
mandatory hive
Yeah,
pitch
yeah.
from
No,
Shanluk.
I'm not gonna plug Hive. I'll let somebody else do it.
Yeah.
One of our
Okay,
guests, Rahim joined Hive as well, and he's pretty excited now.
Ah, Rahim. Yeah,
But
he's
yeah.
Diego,
cool.
before you give the quick perspective, but I also want to say like the thing about the failing is very important because
Mm.
I once got approached to do a effed up night. It was basically a night where you tell people about your biggest failure. And I
Mm.
told them like, wait, I don't have a biggest failure. I have just like 10 failures and I want to tell them all. I want people to know that I started a business. I completely strategized everything and we purchased way too much inventory. And till this day, the inventory is still stuck at somebody's place because we bought like 5 times the amount of inventory that we should have bought. So I want to tell those kind of stories as well. And people only think like, wow, okay, this is your success, but through all those past experiences, you kind of learn what your mistakes are and make sure that you
Mhm.
don't make the same mistakes again. So see, I told you I don't have to do the plug, Diego. The plug's
Yeah.
already there.
The And since we're going through the comments, so before I ask the next question, Marvin says he agrees with you about Facebook. A lot of people talk less. It's just a small group that stays committed to sharing positive stuff. And you got some love from Shanine on LinkedIn.
Yay! That's my girl. Mwah. That's my sister,
And
my
on
other
that
sister.
topic of the crypto, Gregory says Sandrina would be a good advocate for this space. It would be a refreshing take on the topic, considering it's for the nerds and geeks apparently. I'm
Who
not
says I'm
gonna
not a nerd though?
exactly Gregory who says she's not a nerd,
Yeah, I'm a
but
nerd,
I
Gregory.
get where he's coming from.
Yeah, I
uh,
understand.
But to come back to the question on the virtual drinks, now on a more
Mhm.
macro scale and a more tactical level, what was your most unlikely virtual engagement till
Mhm.
date that wasn't local? Because I know there have been international people when at one of the virtual drink meetup last time there was someone all the way from India in the group, so we had
Mhm.
to mix it up a bit. So can you
Mhm.
share some of those experiences with you, like one what that you didn't expect to even happen, talking to someone
Mhm.
at the other
Oh
side of the
yeah,
world?
yeah. My first experience was with a woman from Africa, which I thought was so cool. I even told her about like, yes, and the people from here, they come from Africa too, like our ancestors. I was so excited to
which
talk to
which
someone from
which
Africa.
country? Which country do
Um,
you
which
remember?
Oh no, I don't. No, sorry, I'm gonna say something that's not even true. I'm sorry, I don't know which exact
Okay,
country.
we'll
I'm
figure it
sorry,
out.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote it
Okay.
in the post though, I think. But it's one that was like my mind was is with a woman, Yvonne. She's originally also from Africa, but she lives in Canada. And I follow her on LinkedIn because she's an advocate and a consultant for change leadership, and she has like how do you say those things, webinars and stuff about change leadership, and I'm really trying to get into that. Like how do you change an organize of help an organization change. And so I follow her, all her posts, I like all her things. I'm always like, whoa, that's a good insight when I see something from her. So I decided to send her a message on another platform I also follow her on. And I told her like, hey Yvonne, I'm having this thing on LinkedIn and it would be nice if we could have a talk. And she was like, yeah, okay, girl. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna talk to Yvonne. And it was so much fun.
Do you think that approach, was it a one-off incident, do you think, or do you think that approach
Mhm.
of that reaching people that you look up to, that
Mhm.
gap? Because
Mhm.
let me rephrase this. A lot of people have this fear of approaching people or asking people for a conversation or meeting. And now,
Mhm.
especially with LinkedIn, the digital space, Zoom virtual sessions, the gap has been uh,
Yeah.
been eliminated or shrunken by a whole lot. So,
Mhm.
um, would you say that that 1 2 3 approach you did, engaging a lot with her and just asking, would be a way for a lot of people to get connected more to the people they look up to? And what would be
Nice.
like
Mhm.
one uh, no to do online?
Mhm.
I mean, no
Mhm.
not to do online, and one thing
Yeah.
you already mentioned what you did actually, but one more thing that you would suggest people do if they want to approach people and connect with them?
Yeah, nice, very nice question. Because I did approach someone, also a CEO in Suriname from a big company, and he never really got back to me. And that's the reason why I started virtual drinks. Because the thing is, why do we need to talk to people um, that we only look up to? Like, why we only have to talk to the big dogs? So that's a mindset first. Don't only look at a position from someone, because anyone can inspire you. So it's good that he never really answered, because that made me, like, realize, my son, you can talk to anyone that you want. So I decided to put the post on LinkedIn. And the other thing from the mindset is, it doesn't matter if one person says no, because if one person says no, five say yes. I did ask people, I like any type of person, like, doesn't matter the position. I did approach people like, hey, do you want to do a virtual drink? After they added me, like, right? And they're like, no, not really my thing. I'm like, okay, good, no problem, girl. And I just move on. I don't take it personally, because for one, I know I'm a big ass extrovert. So for me, it's a bit more easy. And two, sometimes people don't want to talk to you, and that doesn't matter, So don't give up. If one person says no, the mindset should be five are gonna say yes. And if Yvonne said no, I was about to go to Maxwell, like John Maxwell. I don't care if Yvonne says no. I'm gonna keep it going. You know what I mean? And if he says
Well,
no, I'm gonna move on.
well, the CEO is just watching this, and he just called you like, "Sorry, I didn't, I didn't
Did
answer."
he?
No, just kidding. No,
Oh, that would be awful.
yeah.
I hope he doesn't know I'm talking about him. So,
Yeah,
oh, that's what you mean. You heard my
that's what
phone.
both of us saying. Yeah, I think it was the CEO calling back, like, "Oh wait, I made a mistake. I should have called
No,
Sandrina."
no, no, no. Sorry, that was not the CEO.
That would have been hilarious if it actually
That would have
was.
been a. I would not have picked up. Like, it's my time
Yeah.
now. We can talk later. So, the mindset, I believe, the approach you asked about, the approach as well. I also talk about this a bit in short in the networking edition from Virtual Drinks. Don't try to sell. Don't try to get a job. Like, your approach and should be a genuine connection. Because that people know that when when they work a certain place, or they have a certain position or something, or if they are an entrepreneur, a lot of people are approaching them to get a job, so, or to buy something from them. So don't start with that. Just genuine connection. And if from the genuine connection comes a sale, there comes a sale. If not, there's a genuine connection. We need to focus more on connecting with people. Stop focusing on the money and on the status and everything. So that would be my golden tip. Make a genuine connection. Don't take no personally. Just keep it going. Like, there are like millions and billions of people on LinkedIn and on Facebook and everywhere on social media. Trust me, if it definitely counts that if one says no, five are gonna say yes. I didn't do the research, but I just know for sure. That's the statistic.
So I just have to ask now because I've been thinking of this as well. Um, it has been virtual, but once COVID is
Mm-hmm,
like kind of like really out of the picture, or at
mm-hmm.
least it's a little bit normal to go get and get drinks. Are you gonna go with like locals from virtual drinks to having just actual drinks?
Yeah, I'm having a actual drink with one of my virtual friends. I think I can almost call her my friend now. We're gonna have our first, like, physical drink tomorrow, so I'm very excited about that, because I really just met her on LinkedIn. You know what I mean? Like, from a
That was
virtual
pretty cool.
drink.
Yeah,
It
that's
is
pretty cool.
awesome. It is. And also, I was planning on talking to you as well for Fat. I want to do a networking edition also, like maybe upstairs Fan at Fat. Um, like the same way we rotate in the networking edition virtually, I want to do, I don't know, maybe, I don't know if, yeah, if someone wants to take the idea, they can take it. But
It's we've got it reserved for you. Yeah,
Okay.
and
Oh, yes,
we're
thank
going.
you so
Yeah,
much. I want
yeah,
to
we
use
got it
there.
reserved. Yeah,
Yes,
the funny
upstairs from a
thing.
spot.
Yeah, okay, we'll do it.
So when COVID is, like gone,
Yeah,
I think we should do it when it's all safe. So,
yeah.
but that's what I have in mind for the networking edition. And what goes for people I meet, I'm excited about my first physical virtual. I can't call it virtual drink anymore, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Tomorrow,
the physical virtual drink.
yes, virtual drink physical edition.
Uh, Anil says it makes him think of chat roulette, if you've ever heard
Hmm.
of that.
No, that's cool. Is it online or something?
I
Like you
would
chat
say
with
so.
different people, maybe.
Yeah, I've had some online
Ayan, dukunan.
kind of networking events where you're just on a single platform and they shuffle you up in kind of different rooms. I think it's forgot what the platform was called, but yeah, they just mix you up and throw you in a group room or a one-on-one room for like 5 to 7 minutes, and they have these
Mm-hmm.
prompt cards to help you start the conversation if you don't know what to talk
That's
about.
awesome.
Yeah,
Okay.
so and then you can skip the cards like, okay, talk about a book or talk about the elephant or something just to
Hmm.
get the conversation started. And that's how
Mm-hmm.
you start to make the connection. So
I
maybe
was
something to
thinking
think
of
about.
the chat roulette website.
I actually do not know what that is. So if you
Oh,
want to
okay.
enlighten us on that,
No, they're
sure.
actual. Yeah, they're actual. These websites, they kind of are being used for the wrong reasons. But there are online websites where you can just go and you can chat with people, and then if you're not interested anymore, you just swipe or you just remove, and you go on to
Oh,
the next.
it's
Yeah,
like Tinder.
yeah, but even but it's not only for dating. Like people do all the crazy stuff. Like people are
Hmm.
just playing music, and then if somebody's interested in
Oh,
music, there
nice.
starts a conversation. There are also
Yeah.
some lesser nice things because you're like nice, and it's all it isn't always it isn't always that nice as you can imagine.
All right.
But
And then,
continue on, Diego.
yeah, last question on the topic of virtual drinks.
Hmm.
Gregory wants to know, what conversation do you wish was recorded?
Oh, actually, none. I would like. I can't call a name right now. Like who would I would love to talk to again, but I'm glad I didn't record them because I have it in my mind. I did make my notes though from the conversations, so I have the gems, but it's nice that they're not recorded. It's like a genuine moment with me and the person. I can't show anyone. If I want to relive it, I need to recall it from my head. So it's all natural. I like that about this. Other things can be recorded though. I'm not against recording, but for this, it was good.
Yeah, so it's basically all your focus and attention is on the other
For
individual,
real.
right?
I
Yeah.
really loved it. I really think it was I really loved it. Like even with
Same.
this show, my head is still going like, do we need to put you in full screen? Uh, do I need to have this tidbit to like when you do a recap video? So it's different when you know like all those things
Mm-hmm.
are off. You're just having a conversation, just the two of you, or even in a group. I think it's kind of comparing it to having dinner with friends and putting the mobile phone like away, like really
Mm-hmm.
away, and being in the moment. And I think it's for me personally, I really respect that because for me, it's always like, okay, but time is important, time is important, time is important.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other side, you don't get the authenticity anymore when you realize
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, there's a camera on, or we record or
True.
recording something. There's always kind of, even if it's in the back of your head, there's still kind of like this, and you can't say things that you might
Mm-hmm.
have to say later like, yeah, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that, because
Yeah.
it's just genuine conversation between the two of you. So I think that really, for me, it was a really positive experience.
I'm glad you experienced it that way too.
Cool. Well, maybe you should invite Anna to the next virtual
Yes.
networking, bring her out of her comfort zone. So, Anna, reach out to Sandrina on LinkedIn because you
Yes.
won't find her on Facebook at the moment. So, LinkedIn's the place to be.
Yes,
Uh,
girl. Get on LinkedIn.
And Gregory just quickly makes a comment. It's funny how me and Shanuk have an American English accent while you have a Caribbean English accent.
Oh, do
Well,
I? Okay.
apparently so.
Okay,
As long as we
Gregory.
understand each other.
Okay, Gregory.
Gregory is your friend, I think. Yeah, he really
Yeah,
knows you
yeah.
guys.
He means it in a very, very positive way.
Yeah, American English is good, but Caribbean is better. Good
Caribbean
job,
is better.
Gregory.
Surinamese English is the best.
You know it, because then
Yeah.
everything comes in, like Sranantongo and everything.
All right. So this brings me to the final part. I guess you briefly mentioned that one of the most memorable engagement you have was with this individual Yvonne, who you
Hmm.
follow for change leadership and stuff. And you've been quite an advocate for mental health, personal development. A lot you've started like I'd call them passion projects in our conversation.
Yeah, I like
Uh,
that too. Yeah.
like a lot of these initiatives. So I want to bring this back in the things you started. You've had this talk with Jean-Luc about all the things he started, and you yourself actually started and did a lot of stuff yourself. And so we should overlook those things. So we want to quickly shed some light on those as well. So, like Moonstone, was it Moonstone Coaching and Consulting, and
Yeah.
you also had a radio show, Sunflower. So could you briefly
Mhm.
tell us about those experiences, what it was like, and how that kind of translated, propelled you forward to 2021?
Nice. Oh, thank you. That's awesome. Moonstone was my first, I would say, entrepreneur project, because I was always wondering. I always wanted to help people, and then I got to discover coaching and counseling, like a school that did that in Suriname. So I joined the school, and for the school, you had to make like pilot hours. I had to talk to people for a few hours before I could get my degree. Pardon. And so I decided, you know what? I'm going to start my consultancy, my counseling, my coaching and counseling, and make my hours during that time. And I was very open with my patients, with my clients. Sorry, they're not patients. I'm not a doctor. With my clients as well. And they even helped me to sign the hours also. Like when we had a talk, they had to sign a paper like, okay, I had like 3 hours with, no, 1 hour with Sandrina in this session, and it was how they found like give the feedback. So that is how Moonstone Coaching and Counseling started, and it was great. It was a great experience. I did a lot of motivational sessions under that name also. um, I talked to a lot of people, like guided them, because the point of Moonstone, because the Moonstone is a stone that the power of the Moonstone is to help you experience your inner strength, and that's what I wanted to do with my counseling business. I wanted to help people realize that the beauty of life is inside of them. That's the quote I also go by, because it's not me that's giving you something, it's you discovering something that you already have. So that was like the fundament of everything I do now. I decided to, how do you say that, close Moonstone, my Moonstone project now. I stopped with Moonstone and the name Moonstone, and then I started to, like, my volleyball career was going one way. People from sports and schools started asking me to do motivationals at the schools because they saw me play or something, right? So I started to just do it as Sandrina. So I started to have my personal brand. I think I can call it that. So, but like an athlete, right? And then in 2019, since 2015, I wanted to do a show, a radio show where I do music with motivational, but that was not the time yet. So in 2019, it was the time, and I called it Empower with Sunflower because I really love sunflowers, and my name is Sun. So that's how I combined all of that. And this was a passion project, as Diego gave me the idea to call it that way, because I have a lot of passion for empowering people. And I didn't get any money but it was a lot of work. So it was definitely a passion project. So I did that for a year, and in that year I got pregnant and COVID came, and it wasn't really safe to go to the studio because a lot of people came in and went out. And then it became a video cast because I couldn't go to the studio anymore. But I really did want to. I had like every month a team, and I really wanted to finish my calendar. So I decided to like finish the project in November so I can then focus on my pregnancy because it was my first baby and everything. And I just wanted to put all my time in, I'm really, I don't only advocate for mental health, I really look at myself and make sure that my mental is very healthy. So I don't take on too much if I don't know the situation or what it's going to be. So then I stopped with sunflower and put my full focus on preparing to become a mom. I became a mom in January 7th, beautiful day, of course. And then I think I got used to it. I got it handled. I could handle everything. So then in May, the other idea came from like another passion project. Let's do some virtual drinks, girl. So then
Yeah,
it
I have
was,
some spare
whew,
time on my hand. Woo!
yeah, but I got tired too. It was like I was working because I was working till 3 or 4 o'clock, like my job, and then I started drinks at 5 till like 10 in the evening, and my son was with his dad. They were always chilling at the couch, but like when I got out of the room, I was like, oh, that was good, honey, but honey, I'm tired because you get tired when you talk to too many people at once. so
How
so
many drinks have you done?
Oh, I think it is 60 or almost 60, like 59, I think. Yeah.
That's impressive.
It was
She's a
it yeah. I got
sorry, no.
tired, but it was great. It was great. It was the best thing I could have done.
Yeah, I
Sorry,
was
what did you
about to
say,
say,
Diego?
Sean, she has done double our conversations in less than 2 months, what we did
Yeah,
in six
yeah,
months.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's like, whoa.
But it is, yeah, I understand. But you guys are doing like more than just talking to people. I think you're like editing and everything and putting it together. So it takes a lot of work. So I understand that you don't want to talk to 4 people in one day every day. So y'all doing a good
Actually,
job.
it's doable, but we decided to a schedule we could manage that would not be taxing for us to, that take our time away from our other,
Yeah,
responsibilities and such.
very
But yeah,
smart.
having all that, this does bring up a question. You mentioned, we do editing, post production, but you've had 60 conversations with 60 amazing individuals, I presume. How do
Mm-hmm,
you synthesize, remember, and formulate all that information, all those connections you get? How do you archive
mm-hmm,
that, and how do you give it a place
mm-hmm.
for yourself?
Yes, very good question. That is also why I decided to slow it down at some point. Because you need to process also. You can't just only take. You need to process as well. First, how I process is I write. I write a lot. So while I talk to the people, I write the things that really hit home. And after the conversations, I also post. I put a post. That's for two reasons. For one, that other people can connect with them as well, so that their network grows as well. And two, for myself to have a little recap moment. Like the feeling I got, the information I got. So I got that, and I got my notebook. I have a special notebook for all with all the conversations in it with all the people. And yeah, it's really archived like here and in my heart. So I feel, and along the way, um I got to see so much courage. So I put it in right away. Uh Courage to put out my business canvas. I don't have a business plan yet, but put out the business canvas. Courage to send out a proposal. because of all the inspiration I got. It like really filled me up with energy. It didn't I can't necessarily recall all the details from all the conversations, but just the energy that I got from everything is just, like going out in different ways. The way I view things, the way I view people, the way I feel myself, I feel more confident. I don't feel rejected if someone doesn't want to call with me, because I heard a lot of people that don't want it. So, I got used to it. So, yeah, that's how it kind of helped me on the personal development part.
So I Diego's putting in the serious questions, so I'm gonna put in the fun question. Um, like first of all, you got a review here from Anna. She did actually participate in Virtual Drink
Oh,
2.0,
for real?
and she had a lot of
Mm-hmm.
fun. So thank you, and she made a friend, and she's gonna have your own virtual drink. So Anna, we will look forward
Oh,
to seeing that post as well,
yay! Yes,
and then you
Anna, great.
can share it
I
as
can't
well.
see their I can't see your picture. I'm
We'll
sorry.
send you their information, so
Yeah.
in case you want to connect as well.
Yeah, send me
And
a message on LinkedIn, Anna. Let me see.
yes. And I'm gonna ask the fun question. So here's the thing: you've done all these about 60 virtual drinks. Some of
Mm-hmm.
those people have never seen you in real life, which
Mm-hmm.
is gonna bring the fun part, and they're gonna see you and they're gonna be like, "Oh wow, she's tall."
Yeah.
So, so I want to ask a little fun question. Uh, what is like one of the things that people don't know, like when you about being tall, like also the advantages, and maybe one
Mm-hmm.
advantage you have for being tall and one disadvantage, because how tall are you?
Hmm. I'm 1 meter 88,
Yeah, so Diego,
like 6'3".
she's taller than me. I'm
Yes, I
six
am.
one, she's
Definitely.
6'3".
Yeah, a lot
So
taller than me.
yeah. So what are like the fun things that happen when you're tall, especially as a woman, and
Mm-hmm.
what is thing people underestimate or like overestimate about being tall?
Okay, let me see. Fun things are definitely concerts, because I love going to reggae concerts, and I can see from any place, and I can also move to any place, and people are sometimes intimidated by your height, so they don't really say anything. So that's awesome when you're at the concert.
It's a
And
good one.
another positive side of people being a bit intimidated, and I'm gonna put the negative side as well. Another positive side is that men especially don't approach you for small talk. um I don't like when men are disrespectful, or like, just talking to talk. They don't approach me because they are intimidated. They feel less men when they stand beside me. Some men, or not all men, but
Maybe that was the case maybe I was intimidated.
that could be the case. I'm very sorry about that. Ay, Baya. And a negative part of that is that they sometimes say like mean things for no reason. They're feeling insecure, especially men. Sometimes women too, and I'm like, girl, shut up. But with men, it's crazy. I'm like, I don't even like you. Why are you saying so many mean, like, like, I wouldn't go with a tall woman like you, or why are you so tall? Like,
it's
like
it's
it's
kind
it's a
of
bad thing.
it's like reverse psychology for like I'm gonna get dismissed, so I'll dismiss first. That's kind of what
For real,
it
for
feels like.
real. It's so
Yeah.
stupid. I haven't heard it in a while. I feel more confident about myself too, like as I grow and get older. So maybe if I hear it, it won't even hit me that hard. But like I remember when I was younger, I was like, why are you saying this? I don't like you. If you don't like me, then I don't care. Don't you have to tell me that's okay? I don't know if I can curse here. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So so that's the
It's
negative
uncensored, so
side.
you don't have to worry.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that is one side that really got to me when I was younger. And another thing is sometimes it's a bit annoying when people say, "Oh my gosh, you're so tall." I'm like, people, I'm not going around and telling everybody, "Oh my gosh, you're so short." Like I don't even see it. Sometimes I don't even see you because you're a bit short. But no, I'm just kidding. I'm just being a bit mean. But that's what I find weird. I don't keep telling people how short they are, but they really want to tell. I'm starting to see it as admiration. Like, oh wow, they're very impressed. But it's a bit annoying sometimes. But
Yeah.
what
Okay.
else? Oh, and jeans. Finding jeans is very expensive. So people, if you want to donate, donate some money because jeans are expensive. I need to buy special jeans. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that is
So
yeah.
shoes are still in the
Shoes.
normal. Yeah.
I
No.
can't find shoes in Suriname, but the pricing is normal. I can find shoes in Holland and in America for like $25. So that's a bit of
Okay. That's
okay.
still, yeah. That's still a good deal.
But jeans are like $50, $60. That's just like 2,000 SRDs, man. Okay, maybe 1,000 SRDs, but it's a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't
Yeah.
get
That
fat
that does
because I only
that.
have one pair.
Oh God. That does put things in perspective, indeed. So you're getting a little love from Melissa as well, John, for
Yes,
joining in.
that's my tall girl as well.
And,
Hi, Melis.
and Diego, I think we can go to the last question.
Sure. It's been an amazing hour so far, a bit over the hour as
Yes,
usual with me and Shanluk. uh,
that's a lot of
if, if
talking, huh?
if it were up to us, we could go, but we have a set schedule we try to keep to.
Yes, good
But
job, guys.
I guess there's a lot more we want to ask you, but I'll keep it at this one to close it off. If you had to describe Sandrina in two words, and tall cannot
Two
be one of
words.
them, what would it be?
Yes. Tuna.
Yeah, two words.
2 words. Creator. No, I would say joyful creator. Yeah.
And that's part of your personal brand now.
Yes. Thank
Yeah,
you.
you can put it in your LinkedIn. Joyful
Yes.
creator.
Yeah. I'm gonna add the joyful. Yeah, I'm gonna add that because
Yeah.
I'm pretty joyful. I'm pretty loud too, but I try to tame it down.
Hey, this has really been fun. Like Diego said, we could go on for quite some time. Diego, you can. I think there are people still joining into this call. So for people that are just joining in now, where can they find the final recording of this
Yeah, before
this
we go to
session?
the
Yeah.
final recording of us, I would like to ask Sandrina. We've
Mhm.
mentioned LinkedIn a lot, but how
Yeah.
can people connect with you, Sandrina, and what can people look forward to from you within the next, in the short term?
Short term, okay. They can connect with me on LinkedIn, just Sandrina Hunsel. Maybe you can send a little message too, like, hey, I followed your social convo, so then I know like where this connection comes from. I really like to connect. And what was the other question? Oh, what they can see in
What can
the
people
near
look forward
future?
to from you? Yeah.
Yeah. Um, for now, I don't really have any plans in the near future. So for now, just I would say don't expect anything right now. I'm just taking it easy. So and in the future, like in a few years, I'm about to set up a business where I'm gonna help companies to become more human focused. So if you're already struggling with that in your company, holla at me because I can help you with that. Yeah.
Awesome. No, that is amazing. But for now, you're just being an awesome mom.
Yes, I'm enjoying that so much.
And also a quote in from Michael.
Yes.
Definitely a joyful creator. Still admire that you took up the courage to connect with quote on strangers. So
Awesome.
Thank
yeah,
you, Michael. He was one of my first virtual drinkers as well. He
Oh,
was so
cool.
much fun. Hi, Michael. He's cool. He's an awesome guy.
so people, we really have to know that Sandrina at the moment isn't on Facebook. In case you missed why Sandrina is not on Facebook, please check out the full recording. This video is of course uploaded on my Facebook page, Diego, and my Facebook profile. And if you're more into YouTube, you can also watch it on Diego's YouTube. but it will be also be made into a podcast format. So if you want to listen to this while doing something else, you can listen to this on Spotify, and also listen to it on the Confoes website. And Diego will tell us when that's possible and what's in store for next week.
Yes, the podcast audio version will be available as usual on Saturdays at 12 p.m. Surinamese times. So if you have missed it, have friends you think would be interested in this, send it their way. Send it their way. Leave us feedback wherever. We always love receiving feedback on how we could improve and how to make the show better for you guys, but also for us. And with that being said, we look forward to next week when we'll have another interesting guest. But next week will probably be at 4 p.m. instead of 9 p.m. because we're accommodating guests that are in different time zones. So just keep that in mind. But we will announce it the in within the next week. With that being said, Jean-Luc, roll us out.
Thank you so much for joining us, Sandrina, as our guest. This has been Social Confos. I'm Shaluk. That's Diego. And we'll see you next week for a brand new edition of Social Confos. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.